Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into a really powerful guide for finding inner peace and, transforming our relationships. It's all based on the timeless wisdom of the Dalai Lama, and we're going to explore how to cultivate what you might call a mind of infinite love.
So let's just start with a question that I think we can all relate to, right? We all want love, we all want connection. So why are our lives so often filled with conflict and misunderstanding? What is it that makes this basic human need so incredibly challenging to achieve and maybe even more to sustain?
Well, the answer we get here is surprisingly direct. The root of our struggles with love isn't our job, it's not our partner or the state of the world. Nope. The real obstacle, according to this wisdom, is the turmoil happening right inside our own minds.
Okay, so to really get a handle on this, our first section is going to explore what's actually causing this internal struggle. What are the forces at play inside our heads that keep us from experiencing genuine love and peace? So these teachings say our inner chaos is basically fueled by what they call the three poisons. First up, you've got greed, that constant nagging want for more. Then there's anger, which is that explosive reaction when we don't get what we want. And finally, ignorance, a fundamental misunderstanding of how life really works. These are pinpointed as the core obstacles to any kind of lasting happiness. But here's a radical thought. What if all that chaos, all that negativity, isn't actually who you are? That question right there leads us to a really core insight about the fundamental nature of the mind itself.
This brings us to a really powerful distinction. See, on one side you have the mind's true nature, which is described as being luminous, aware, and just fundamentally pure. And on the other side, you've got these temporary emotions like greed and anger. The key idea here is to start seeing these negative states as just passing clouds, not the sky itself. The sky is always there, pure and clear behind them. And there's this brilliant metaphor that makes this idea so concrete. Think of your mind like a glass of water. Even if you stir up all the mud from the bottom and it gets cloudy and chaotic, the essential nature of the water itself is still pure. The dirt can always settle again. So the whole point is that the path forward isn't about fighting these negative emotions. It's about developing a new skill, the ability to just observe them. By learning to watch our thoughts and feelings come and go, without getting totally swept away by the current, we allow that natural purity of our mind to just resurface.
Okay, that sounds great in theory, right? But how do we actually do it? Well, the source material doesn't just leave us with a nice philosophy. It lays out a super clear, practical 7-step path to actively cultivate compassion in our daily lives.
This whole journey starts with an inner shift. Step 1 is all about finding balance, or what's called equanimity. Learning to see everyone, whether they're a friend, a stranger, or even an enemy, with a level, positive mind. Then, step 2 is about cultivating gratitude, really taking a moment to remember the countless acts of kindness we've all received. And step 3 is reciprocity, that natural, deep desire to repay that kindness by helping others. Now, check this out, because this is such a profound and totally counterintuitive idea. The text suggests that our greatest teachers for developing inner strength, they aren't our friends who comfort us. They're our enemies, the people who challenge us. They provide the friction we need to build real resilience and patience. Wild, right? So once that inner foundation is set, the path moves outward into action. Step 4 is about developing empathy by just dropping that whole us versus them way of thinking. Step 5 is compassion, which means actively wishing for others to be free from their own suffering. Step 6 is a deep, unwavering commitment to that wish. And finally, step 7 is the ultimate goal, to become truly, genuinely effective at helping all beings find this path for themselves.
Think about it like this. If you've been hit by an arrow, you don't waste time asking, who shot this? Why did they do it? No. The immediate priority is the pain, the suffering itself. This practice encourages us to see other people through that same lens, to look past their actions for a second and just recognize their own inner pain, which is probably a lot like ours.
So, what happens when you actually walk this path? How does it change things? Well, let's look at how this journey can fundamentally redefine our entire perspective on life and, really, our place in it.
And listen, the source does not pull any punches. It confronts us with what it calls the iron fact. Everything is impermanent. Everything we build, everything we are, will eventually come to an end. Now, this isn't meant to be depressing, it's meant to be clarifying.
When you face that reality head-on, it forces you to ask the most important question there is. If everything is just temporary, what's the point? How do we possibly create a life of meaning and purpose in the face of that unavoidable truth?
And the answer it gives us is so simple, but wow, is it profound. Meaning isn't found in what we get for ourselves. It's found in what we give. We discover it not by chasing fleeting desires, but by dedicating our little bit of time here to the well-being of others.
And that brings us completely full circle. The ultimate takeaway is that the chaos in our minds can be transformed. By redefining our relationship with everyone around us, shifting from separation to compassion, we don't just change our world, we change ourselves. We give our own lives a profound, a deep new meaning. And that really just leaves us with a simple question to carry forward. Who in your life could be your greatest teacher today?